What's up, everyone? It is your girl GLBeauty 87 here, aka Grace, and it's time for another underrated versus overrated. So I got a few new products in, and I actually found stuff in my collection that is similar to it. So y'all know this is just my new version of like a dupe video, if you will, or for my side chick makeup, if you will. I talk about underrated products versus products that are overrated just because they have a name attached to them. One of them isn't necessarily that. I just felt like it'd be a good alternative color. I actually have face products today and a lip product as opposed to giving y'all 40 eyeshadow palettes. So I'm excited. I'm mainly excited about that. The fact that it's not just gonna be all eyeshadow palettes for once. So without further ado, honey, let's get into it. So I'm start off with the lip one. So the underrated versus overrated we have today is the Lime Crime Wet Cherry Gloss in the shade Bitter Cherry, and I have Honey I'm Home from About Face 94. This is called the Give 'em Lip High Shine Lip Gloss. So I feel like both these colors are really similar in tone. I love this Lime Crime gloss. Y'all don't know, this is one of my favorite like your lips but better like lip glosses for like my go-to, and because it has such high shine and it's quite pigmented, I feel like it just looks amazing on the lips. However, I do feel like the About Face one is just as nice. It gives a little less pigmentation to it, but I feel like it still does have a similar tone to it. So here's what both of them look like on my hand. The top one is Lime Crime and the bottom one is About Face. As y'all can see, they have a similar tone. The About Face one, like I said, is just a little bit lighter, and I feel like these are so much more affordable than Lime Crime glosses. Even though Lime Crime has an amazing amount of sales a lot of the time, where these are like 10 bucks, but like if I remember correctly, this one is like 5. And you know, like although it's smaller, you can still get 2 for the price of 1, so you might end up getting the same amount. Yes, for this, I'm pretty sure this was $5. Don't quote me. I know it was under 10, and these are usually like 20 bucks. So even if you did buy 2 of these and they were like 10 bucks, you'd still get like a great deal and a great formula at an amazing price. So I feel like these are definitely an underrated product from her drugstore line, or a more affordable line. So I wanted to talk about it and highlight it. I actually bought 2 more in a haul video you're gonna see coming up. You'll probably see that before you see this, but yes, honey, I love those glosses, so I had to shout it out. So next, underrated versus overrated, I have is one of the new L'Oreal blushes. So this is But First Coffee from Bare Minerals. This is their Gen Nude Powder Blush. If y'all remember, I bought this during the 21 Days Beauty Sale. And then I have the shade Daring Rosewood from L'Oreal. It's one of the new shades. Y'all, they did, Ulta did me so bogus. Like, look at this. What is this? What is this? Child. And keep in mind, these do have fragrance, so if you don't like having a fragrance product, you might not necessarily like these. I feel like they work well on the face, so I'm actually wearing 2 of them right now on my face, and you'll see those like last. I'm gonna do that one last, but here's But First Coffee, and I feel like the shades are really similar, which is interesting because when I think of Rosewood, I think of the same type of shade that what do you call it, that Dior came out with when it came to their blushes. Like that Rosewood shade is the shade I think of with Rosewood, not the shade that L'Oreal came out with their shade for Rosewood. So that was interesting to me when I saw it. I'm like, their Rosewood looks more like my skin but better. Now I feel like for the people who love affordable stuff, it's pretty spot on. And if you like a blush that's your skin but better when you have to rush, and it could be a little bit of bronze, and I definitely feel like you will appreciate this. So the girls who like those blushers or blush-onsers, I forgot what the same brand Bare Minerals calls theirs, but I feel like you would like the L'Oreal one if you like products like that, because you can use it as a bronze and you can turn around and have be a blush and it'd be like a combination on the face that'll work for you. I feel like that's what Mahogany from Dior is going to be for me, so I'm excited about that. But I feel like this shade is underrated because people are so concerned about pink blush right now. So I wanted to touch on it and show it to you. Now, I haven't used this one on my face yet, or the berry one that I'm about to show you, but I feel like we know the berry one is just going to work out better for me just because, you know, I'm black and berry tones work better for people my skin tone. Those are just facts. Next, underrated versus overrated, I have the shade 60 in the Givenchy Beauty blushes that I got during the Sephora VIB sale in April. And then I have, what is this called, Legendary Berry. It's shade I think shade 15 or shade 20. I ended up digging my finger in it by accident when I was trying to keep from dropping it. I'm telling y'all, like, all my makeup keeps trying to drop and break on me, y'all, and it's pissing me off. Now just keep in mind that the Givenchy shade is a little bit lighter than the than the L'Oreal shade, but I feel like if you use a light hand, it should be fine. I swatched these alongside some of my other high-end blushes because I want to do a video on all the different high-end blushes once they get to me. So I'm waiting on my Gucci blushes to show up. They finally showed up at Sephora. It took long enough, right? So I was like, let me go ahead and, you know, pick them up real quick and cute like. And I finally got Rosewood, which is the last Dior blush I needed because I was getting all the Dior blushes. I think that is such a stunning formula on the skin. It gives more like a satin glowy finish as opposed to a true, you know, like rosy finish, which I like a whole lot better. The only thing is the shade Berry looks like kind of bruised like on my skin if I use too much. So I feel like I'll have to use their Berry shade in the summertime because it actually looks kind of bruisey on me. But when you press it in, it usually goes away and doesn't look as bad because I have worn it already. So this is the Givenchy shade and this is the Berry shade from L'Oreal. Like I told you all, it's just a little bit deeper than this one. I feel like this one is a little bit deeper than the Gucci Warm Berry shade though. So just keep that in mind. It depends on what tone of berry you like, which one you like the best. I guess I can swatch the Gucci one. It's literally sitting in the box like right behind me. It should be here. Right there's this radiant pink. Yeah, warm berry. I just go ahead and swatch it too. It's here. We're here. Everyone's here. Y'all know the drill. So we'll just go ahead and swatch it behind the L'Oreal one, so you can see what I'm talking about when it comes to the different tones. Because I feel like they're all supposed to be berry blushes, but they all have different undertones of berry, which is what I kind of like about them. So the last one I just swatched was Gucci. So this is the Gucci Beauty. This is the L'Oreal, and then that's the Armani. See how the Armani has kind of a more true purplish tone to it? I feel like this one looks like more reddish berry tone, like more of a raspberry berry tone instead of, you know, like a true purplish berry tone. And then the L'Oreal is the deepest one. So I think I like the L'Oreal one the best when it comes to the undertone, and then I would pick the Givenchy, and I would pick this one probably last, the Gucci one. But I like the formula on all three, and all the colors look nice on all three. So since everybody's coming out with a whole bunch of different blushes, I had to give y'all a whole bunch of different blush videos. Excuse me. So next, underrated versus overrated is gonna be hard to hold both these up, but I'm gonna try. One of them is already broken because I told y'all two of my L'Oreal blushes broke. So that's underrated versus overrated. I got the Scooby-Doo face palette from Glamlight against the L'Oreal blushes. So I have Fearless Coral and Confident Pink against the two colors here, because of course, you know, Velma wears orange and Daphne wears pink. So those two colors coincide pretty nicely. So here's what theirs looks like versus, again, I'll try to hold both of them together. It's just hard because the cone is so thick. See, it just flew across the floor, child. Hold on. Okay, y'all, so I wiped some of the stuff off my hands so that way I could do these new ones. So the Fearless Coral showed up broken as well. So I just think that these are the two broken ones is the ones I got for 50% off, since, you know, stuff keeps showing up broken and I don't appreciate it. But let's get the swatch in these two, because I feel like the coral one in here really looks similar to the L'Oreal one. It's just the pinks that look different in my personal opinion, which, you know, is okay with me because some people might not like that pink that has the blue undertone to it. So I feel like, you know, you might have found a nice alternative, or if you do like that one and you're not as concerned about the coral, even though the coral ones I feel like match perfectly, then you might want to get this over the other one. So make sure I get swatches so you can see. But I feel like swatched out, the coral shades look like literally exactly the same. So I swatched the Scooby-Doo one first, and then I'm swatching the L'Oreal one last. Just FYI. So Scooby-Doo first, L'Oreal last. So you can get an idea of how the tones are gonna look. I feel like everybody's coming up with so many blushes, and then now I feel like everybody's gonna come up with pink powders after this, because everybody's dropping a pink powder. Like, so everybody's just about pink this year. Everybody is about pink. Okay, got it. So, like I said, the first one is Scooby-Doo, then L'Oreal, Scooby-Doo, and L'Oreal. I personally like the pink from the L'Oreal better than the Scooby-Doo one, because it's that classic like powdery pink that doesn't always look nice on someone my skin tone. But you see the corals literally look exactly the same. So if you prefer the L'Oreal pink, then I guess it'll be better for you to get the buy one get one 50% off that Ulta doing right now on these two shades since they finally restocked. So I'm glad I waited. And then if you prefer the one from Daphne's, and it would probably be best if you get the Scooby-Doo palette. Now, I don't know if this is still in stock right now, because remember they said it was going to be super limited edition and all that. So since they said that, I don't know if this is in stock right now or not. If I remember correctly, I thought I saw that it had sold out and like the full collection had sold out. But I wanted to give y'all this alternative, and I'll probably do a shorts on it, because who knows when this video gonna go out, and I want you to like have the information in a somewhat timely fashion. And y'all know it'll take me forever to get this up, because I have like 2 or 3 other ones of these that's sitting in the can waiting. So I might just rush this one and change the numbers on it to make sure that this goes up before those do, so you can get the information you need. The last underrated versus overrated I have is these blush mellow blushes from JCat Beauty, alongside the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Veil Blush in the shade Perfect Pink. So I just grabbed 2 pink ones. I did grab his peachy one because I really like the way these look with the Dior glowy blushes. So what I'll do is I'll put this on, and then I'll put a Dior glowy blush on top of it, and I feel like it looks stunning, and it lasts a lot throughout the day because it has that soft color underneath from the Makeup by Mario, and then it has like a I'm grabbing the makeup brush, that's what all this noise is, and then it has the you know, the nice coloring on top to sit and hold the product down, so it keeps color underneath, and even when it's oily, it helps kind of maintain it, if you will. At least in my opinion, that's what it does. So let me wipe this off, because I want to be able to put it on my hand where it's visible and seen. Y'all, I got so much glitter on my hand from when I did a beauty brands with inconsistent formulas, and I actually gave y'all swatches of the stuff to see which shades in my palettes were still hard pan, which ones weren't. So ignore all the glitter on my hand you saw earlier. That's from that video. But we're gonna get into this one now. So I'm gonna swatch the Makeup by Mario one first, and then I'll swatch the what do you call it, the JCat one. Now, I definitely feel like the JCat one gets more pigmentation, and it gives more of a soft blurred look, whereas the Makeup by Mario gives more of a glowy dewy look. So all depends on what you want and what coloring you want. I also feel like this this blush from, what do you call them, JCat could be a good alternative for the what's the woman, the Danessa Myricks ones. I feel like hers is a little bit more pigmented than theirs are, but this is what they look like. So as you can see, Makeup by Mario is more soft glowy, and I feel like this is more of a blurred look. But when you share them both out, I feel like they do about the same thing. So if you want a little more of a pigmented version, and I'd say go with the JCat one. But if you want that more cream, you know, like your skin but better vibe, if you're one of those type of girlies, then I definitely think that you'll like the Makeup by Mario better. I should just go ahead and swatch the Danessa Myricks because it's here. Hold up, I put it in the bag, y'all, so I was like, let me go grab it real quick. So I have the shade Prima Donna. That's the pink one I have from Danessa Myricks, and I'll swatch it next to this blush from JCat, because again, I feel like it's a good alternative for that too. Because I have 2 shades from them that looks really similar to the Danessa Myricks one. But as you can see, the Danessa one is more pigmented. So it all depends on what level of pigmentation you want. Danessa's is always going to be the most pigmented in my personal opinion. And Mario's always going to be the least pigmented in my personal opinion, just because that's what he likes. But if you like something in between, then I definitely think you would like the JCat one. And it's not like you can't blend Danessa's out, so don't get me wrong. You can blend it out and make all of these more pigmented or less pigmented. But as you can see, when you start with Danessa, it's just more pigmented than all of these. So that's just something to bear in mind. What level of pigmentation you want to start out with, and be able to blend it out to a lighter look. Because I feel like the Danessa ones are like the Rare Beauty ones. You put it on and it's really pigmented, but you can blend it out and shear it out to what you like. My only thing is when I blend out the other 2 I showed you, where we initially started off with the JCats and the Makeup by Mario, I feel like they blend away to a good amount of nothing, and it's like, that's nice if you into that vibe for that moment. And I do have moments where I like that. It's just, as a general rule, I prefer Danessa over all of them, because I feel like I know I'm gonna get a lot of pigmentation. I know it's gonna last throughout the day because of the formula that she uses in this, along with her yummy skin primer balm. So those are just some I wanted to touch on that I felt like were overrated compared to some other affordable thing you could buy. And it's not that they're truly overrated, if you will. It's just more they have the name recognition, and that's why they're getting more hype than the JCat ones. Because I feel like the only people I hear talking about JCat is Andrea Montanalo, and that's pretty much it. I think I heard Babs Beauty talk about these, and that's how I found out about them. But otherwise, I feel like I don't really hear too many YouTubers talking about JCat Beauty. what's her name? This girl named Karina. She talks about him sometime. I forgot the name of her channel though, but otherwise I don't really feel like I hear about anybody talking about him. Now this one is interesting because this is going to be in a 5 brands to dupe themselves as well, so it's from the same brand. It's just I feel like one collection got way more hype than the other collection, and it's honestly I think just because one palette has shimmers in it and one palette doesn't. So I feel like you should know what I'm talking about. Overrated versus underrated. It's the Huda Beauty Medium Nude Obsession versus the Warm Matte Obsession. Now I feel like people talked about this for a cute little second, that was it, but I feel like people still talk about this to this day. So I ended up getting this during the Memorial Day sale that just came up, and I ended up getting this during the Memorial sale that just came up because they were only like 16 bucks a piece. So I was like, yes, sign me up, I will take it, yes. So here's what both of them look like side by side. As you can see, they look pretty similar, but the difference you see is this one has shimmers and this one doesn't. And I feel like because this one doesn't have shimmers, people don't talk about it as much because people, the average person likes shimmers just like I do, so you know, they want a shimmery palette. I was fine with the matte look I created with this though. If you all saw on my Instagram, I posted pictures of this, comparing it to this, and then I posted a picture of me wearing this, and then I posted a picture of me wearing the mauve. Of course y'all know I had to get the mauve one. I love cool tones way more than warm tones, but I felt like it was an opportunity to get my hands on both of them, and I told you all if they went on a good sale I would. So 50% off is definitely a good sale. But the formula of these mattes is really nice. It's not like it's bad or anything, and you know they're normally not that great. These are usually made in China, as a few have been made in Italy, but I feel like this just gets so much hype compared to this one, and it's only because it has shimmers in it. Now I didn't try the cream in this palette because if I remember correctly, this shade right here is a cream shade and this right here is a cream shade. I didn't use either one of those, so I can't tell you how the cream shades working here. That might be why people haven't been talking about it that much, because I think people didn't like her cream formula in the big palette, so I figured that's why they didn't necessarily like it in this one either. But you know, I liked it just fine, and I thought it was good enough to talk about, so that's why I'm putting in this underrated versus overrated, because I feel like people aren't really talking about it that much because they're so obsessed with the other new palettes that she already has because they have shimmers in them, and it's like, give them a chance, y'all. They were actually pretty decent. Next, underrated versus overrated. Of course y'all know I was gonna put this in here because I had to show y'all the dupe that Adept Cosmetics came out with the Into the Night palette, and then this is Mothership 3 palette. So when I first showed these to Dionluvsmakeup for us to do the collab, I was like, girl, I want to do a collab with old school versus new school, and like both these palettes look so similar to me. Sorry, some shimmer had gotten into like the colorful fun matte, and when I showed them to her, she was like, yeah, those do look similar. I'm like, I know, right? We have to do it. So you all have already seen that video by the time this went up, but look how similar these damn palettes are. I mean, seriously. Tell me these don't look the same. You're a liar. No one's listening to you. They look almost identical. If you took this out in the fun pops of mattes that were in this palette, which is the extra 2 shades in here, I feel like these would be pretty comparable. I did looks, and Deanna and I pretty much got the same look. So if you're looking for a more affordable version of Mother's palette, even though Mother always has sales, but this one tends to go out of stock a lot quicker, then you might want to go ahead and get your hands on this Into the Night palette, because honey, it's giving. It's definitely giving. Y'all, seriously, my camera keep trying to die on me when I keep trying to do these videos. I just literally put in a new battery. I shot 2 videos. This is my 3rd video and it's already trying to die. It's real rude and disrespectful, I know. But anyway, so the next 2 I have to talk about, underrated versus overrated. This is the Metropolis palette from Natasha alongside the Jungle Roar from JCat Beauty. So we have another JCat Beauty thing. I tried this palette out recently. You all will have seen that video before you saw this one. But it made me think of the Metropolis palette without like the fun pops of blues and not necessarily a lot of the deeper tones. But I feel like it could be a good alternative for this palette. If you're seeing what I'm seeing, then you know what I'm talking about. I feel like it has a lot of good alternative shades in it. And if you're not necessarily a fan of the cream to powder and don't want as many neutrals as she has in this palette, then I feel like the JCat Beauty could be a good alternative. The only thing that sucks is it's already left Ulta's website, so you have to go to their website and pick it up. But I guess that shouldn't be an issue. I've never shopped on their website, so I don't know. But this just gave me the vibes of this one, so I felt like I wanted to share it because the formula in this was pretty good. It wasn't... Now, don't expect to be like Natasha, and I'm not gonna be like those people who say it's like Natasha and it's so wonderful. I feel like it's good, but you know, like it's good for the price point type vibe. That's the vibe it gave me. I heard other people saying it was amazing, and the shimmers were great. The shimmers didn't do that much for me, but the shimmers I've seen people talking about were so great in the palette were from like the little plastic palettes they have, so it might be I just grabbed the wrong one. I don't know. Next, y'all know this was coming underrated versus overrated. I got the Beaute Tropical Vibes palette against the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona. We know Natasha gonna get the hype just because she's Natasha, but I feel like this Tropical Vibes palette from Beaute does just as nice a job. Only thing that sucks about both these palettes, I don't know why people didn't think they should put a shimmering orange in here. Like, I need a shimmering orange for the inner quarter to go with the rest of these shades, since that's what you're trying to give in this palette, and neither one of them did it. So that's the only thing that irritates me. Like, neither one of y'all did it. Why couldn't we do that? But I feel like this is a good alternative for this palette if you don't have it. And if you already have this palette, then you don't need this palette, because I feel like they look similar enough. I'm gonna do an old school versus new school just to make sure or whatever. But you know, like I already gave y'all a why you don't need with the Safari palette, so I didn't want to show that one again because you got a whole video dedicated to it. Okay, I'm gonna go get a battery since the cameras keep wanting to act up, even though I only got like literally one palette left. But you know, I don't want to take a chance of it falling off and then I have to go get it. So I'll just go get it now. I'll be right back, girl. Okay, y'all, so last palette to talk about, underrated versus overrated. I have actually a couple palettes to compare to this palette because I feel like they both have similar color stories. So I'm starting with He Who Shall Not Be Mentioned. I have these two palettes. So this is Scooby-Doo palette up against the Pro Pigment palette volume 6. I saw a few people talking about this. I wanted to see what it was like against the Surge palette. I gave y'all comparisons of this up against the Surge palette, but I feel like it looks really similar to the Scooby-Doo palette as well when you look at like the color story as far as that goes. So I'm gonna show it to you. So here's what both of them look like side by side. I feel like we could do old school versus new school with both of these, just because this one is on the older side compared to this one, and it has like those darker grungier tones at the bottom, just like this has the row of darker grungier tones, and then still has some lighter tones to go along with it. So I feel like they have enough colors that are similar to do a video. The only issue is, y'all know this one only has like I think 1 or 2 shimmers in it. The rest of them are like pressed glitters, which is what pisses me off about this palette. It's got majority pressed glitters and not really any shimmers. So y'all can comment down below and let me know if you want me to do a battle and see which one turns out better, because it's like, since this is supposed to be a limited edition palette, I feel like this one might be a good alternative to you, which is the only reason I was willing to do this part, because otherwise I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't want to know. The other alternative I have for you all though is the Escape Pod palette. If you already have the Escape Pod, you might not necessarily need to get the Scooby-Doo one. I mean, you don't get the blues that the Scooby-Doo one has, but I feel like you have all the other shades. Like you have the orange, you have the purple, and technically that's like a blurple-ish shade at the top, so it could be like a condensed version for the people who don't want a huge palette like this. You're just not going to get those deeper tones that you need. But if you have a large collection like I do, you can dig into another palette for deeper tones, so it shouldn't be that big a deal to you. But you know, that's just my take on it. So that's the last 2 palettes I have to talk to you about in this underrated versus overrated. So those are all the things I had to talk about. I hope they were helpful to you. I hope you found some new things to add to your collection, or some things that you already had that are similar to other things, so that you don't have to necessarily go out and buy the things I'm talking about. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Remember, you're all the diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.